We just beamed up. My name is Johnny Bottles, and I hate everything. Here's a tweet by a genius on Twitter. A real genius here posted this. TK signings in 2026. Jake something. Now teaming with fat ass Mark Davis. The Rascals. Now with their new member, fat ass Mark Davis. Mascara Dorada. Now with his tag team partner, fat ass Mark Davis. Persephone. Who? Now teaming with fat ass Mark Davis. Andrade. Formerly teaming with fat ass Mark Davis. Then teaming with Charlotte Flair. And now teaming with fat ass Mark Davis. Maya World. Not to be confused with Juice World, who hasn't been teaming with Mark Davis. And Hyan could be teaming with fat ass Mark Davis. They're so back. They're hiring all these TNA people that they can get to try to sink the ship of TNA before TNA becomes the number 2 promotion in the world. Some say it already is, folks. Some say it already is. The last 2 TNA pay-per-views for 2025 outdrew all the AEW shows outside of the stadium shows. And that was with NXT star Trick Williams in the main event. Look for Mike Santana to lose his bid tonight to beat Frankie Kazarian in the debut episode of TNA on AMC. Look for him to go to WWE. You heard it here first. We're so back. Here's another gem that was posted from someone from the IWC in the Twitterverse. Report the 2026 Royal Rumble PLE could be moved to February 14th, Valentine's Day. And this is due to the hosting city Riyadh of Saudi Arabia running out of stadiums and arenas during the January 31st weekend. So they decided to build a brand new stadium from scratch over the past few weeks, but it's coming up short in their efforts. Look at it. It's not even finished. Look at this bottom photo down here. It's not even done. This is unbelievable. What a horrible thing. Look at that. It's all bullshit, folks. The stadium's going to be done. Everything's going to be fine. Put down your AEW crying towels, okay? And just accept the fact that the Royal Rumble will go on in Saudi Arabia as promised, okay? I don't know why people post things like this. I just don't understand it. What I don't know how these people don't drown in the shower. And now for a segment about more people who should drown in the showers. Mattel released their first autistic Barbie doll that features a fidget spinner, tablet for communication, noise-canceling headphones, bendable elbows and wrists for stimming, whatever stimming is. I can only imagine stimming is done in your mother's basement on top of a plastic tarp. I can only imagine. Just throwing it out there. It's just a shot in the dark. Let's take a look at Barbie. There she is. Noise-canceling headphones. Don't want to get her upset. Don't want to launch M80 behind her and scare the hell out of her. You don't want to do that. Let's take a look at this one. What is this? First, I thought it was a fidget spinner, but it was a little too large for that. This is a tablet for something. Is she on cagematch.com? I don't know. Hey, if you, talking about scary things, you want to see another scary thing, take a look at this. Rock and roll legend Jimmy Page has celebrated his 82nd birthday this past week. Look at him right there. That's old Jimmy. Who's the redhead? That's his girlfriend, Scarlett Sabet. It's only a 50-year age difference, folks. Nothing to get upset about. He looks great. The principal songwriter, lead guitarist, producer extraordinaire for Led Zeppelin. 60-year run at the top of the heavy metal world. Well, he's not at the top right now. He's lucky to be above ground right now. Look at her. She's got the Stockholm Syndrome type face. Look at that. How much? I wonder how many horse tranquilizers she's on right now just to endure waking up in the morning with Jimmy Page, a human corpse, laying on top of her. It's frightening. It's always nice to look at wrestlers' personal lives, see how they, see people in their family, their houses, things like that, because inquiring minds want to know. We're always fascinated by peeling the layer off the onion and taking a look what's below. Here's Sting, Steve Borden. Can you pick him out of this photo? It's a family pic. Apparently it was a family function over his house, somebody's house. I don't know. I can see both of his sons right there. Right there. I believe this one in the middle with the dyed blonde hair is training to be a wrestler. Trained by Darby Allin. He'll probably be having many matches in broken glass and being thrown on the ring steps on the indies. Now, who am I kidding on the indies? He's going to be signed to AEW. Sting Jr. How will they build this guy? Face paint, makeup? I don't know. What will they do? And here's old Sting over here. Third. In case you didn't know, he's the third from the left. Third from the right. Look at him. He's got the long sleeve mock neck t-shirt. He's got the Zubaz pants. He's got the fanny pack. If he ripped the sleeves off, you could say that came directly from the Road Warrior Animal line of casual wear. Zubaz, where does one get Zubaz pants in 2026? That's all I want to know. Looks great. Well, who am I kidding? He's 66 years old. He's entitled to look any way he wants to. I don't necessarily hate this, but would you invite him to the cookout? All this flack that Steven Regal has gotten over the past month, I would say, since he posted about his own struggles with his broken neck, his neck injuries, having neck fusion, metal put into his neck, things of that nature, airport detectors going off as he passes through. And he commented on the other people in the wrestling sphere who are taking these unnecessary risks, especially on the indies, for a hot dog and a cold beer, probably semi-cold. Slagent P, Piper Niven, is currently out with a bad neck injury. I'm worried her enough to really think, is this it for me? Am I going to have to retire? And she posted on Twitter recently, very, very short post, nothing big. The line between I feel fine and I just want to feel okay again is horrifically thin, and you have zero idea how close you are teetering on the edge of it. Please take heed, my darling, she said. Will Ospreay is going through this right now. Elton Prince from Pretty Deadly in the WWE is going through this right now. Injured his neck in a basic move, I would say, in the tag team match with Fraxion, Nathan Frazier. It was I guess you would call it the Scorpion Drop, DDT, double. He was doing on two guys. Elton Prince was one, and he just took the move the wrong way, and it can happen. It can happen. And Slagent P, Piper Niven, is who's dealing with it right now and is vocal about this sort of thing, is preaching to the choir, I guess, which would be you and I. But a lot of the kids on the indies, a lot of the kids in AEW are just hard-headed. Who knows what can happen in one bad move in a ring, and you could be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. And the neckbeards don't realize that. Well, I don't know if you would call this guy a neckbeard. Once again, Ebo, elbow of self-made, also known as Backup Hangman on Twitter. You can tell who his favorite wrestler is. He came out and said during the big Regal controversy when everyone's shitting all over William Regal, wrestlers that aren't willing to give it all up for the game out there aren't real wrestlers that will be remembered. Do you want to be a chapter or a footnote? You don't die when your heart stops beating. You die when you're forgotten. You enter this game to be remarkable, to do what the people in the seats don't have the guts to do. That's what makes pro wrestlers the most unique human beings on the planet. This is a man who deserves to drown in the shower. What kind of idiot does this? What kind of idiot would post something like this? I see that the Jumping Bomb Angels have a petition from change.org posted on their behalf, or maybe they put it together themselves. I'm not too sure. They're trying to get into the WWE Hall of Fame. They had a cup of coffee back in the late 80s. Wrestling, very, very limited amount of women's tag teams in the WWE. They're bringing people from the outside. Most prominently, they had some great matches with Leilani Kai and Judy Martin, two veteran American workers. The Jumping Bomb Angels exposed a lot of people, a lot of wrestling fans, a lot of young women who got into professional wrestling after seeing them with their high-flying moves, and they exposed us to Japanese wrestling back in the day. I had no idea that this was going on in Japan because in those days, you just had some cable stations and some UHF stations and VHF stations. You would go with your rabbit ears. That was it. Not the plethora of entertainment opportunities you have right now. So, Jumping Bomb Angels were great in their day. At the inaugural Survivor Series in 1987, they debuted. I think they lost the titles there to Leilani Kai and Judy Martin, the Glamour Girls, if you will. Check them out on change.org. Click on that link from the Jumping Bomb Angels Twitter account if you want to see them getting docked. I mean, look, who do we have in the Hall of Fame? You got a guy in a parrot. You got a chauffeur. You probably got the copy boy from Titan Towers in there. Who do you got in there? You've got Michelle McCool in there, for God's sakes. Put the Jumping Bomb Angels in there. Good. Kurt Angle did an interview with Chris Van Vliet. Chris Van Vliet. Whatever. You know the guy. Good-looking kid. Good-looking kid. Slick back, black hair. He had a cup of coffee with AEW. Doing a backstage interviewer role when they first debuted in 2019. He was only there for a month or two, I believe. And now he's one of the biggest wrestling interview shows on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter. Well, I guess he's on Twitter. He's posting clips to Twitter. He's on the YouTubes, CVV clips, and the Chris Van Vliet show. Here's Kurt Angle, the great Kurt Angle, talking about problems he had wrestling Rikishi.
He had to go to the bathroom before the match, and he didn't wipe his butt. And he did this stink face on me. And man, talking about brown nose. Yeah, it stunk so bad too, man.
Oh,
I went backstage. He was laughing. I wasn't even mad. He had to go to the bathroom before the match, and he didn't wipe his butt.
I can only imagine how horrendous that must have been. Imagine the ultimate rib on somebody. Yeah, I just ate a whole box of garlic last night. And you go into the ring and do this to the poor guy. I wonder if it's like...
You want to? Take a time out. Go ahead. You just spend that shit. Oh, yeah, you just have to vote it earlier, too.
Oh, man.
What'd she say? It's wet? I like the guy in the crowd, right near the phone. And it could have been the guy holding the phone, filming it. She's so fucking hot. She's about to get a dwarf's ass right in her face. A dwarf's wet ass. Who would do that? Who would pay to do that? Diamond Dave Meltzer's back. He never really went anywhere in the IWC, in the wrestling sphere. I think he's more known for his shitty takes and his bad intentions than he is actually for being a pioneer in wrestling journalism. He said on what Wrestling Observer Radio, I guess it's recorded late at night when he's, I don't know, smoked a spliff, 2 o'clock in the morning, had a couple cocktails. This is the worst gimmick, El Grande Americano, ever in WWE history. Yeah, sure, he's over in Mexico, maybe even over in America, and people are demanding more of him, but it's just not working. He's over in Mexico, maybe even over in America, and people are demanding more of him. Demanding more of him. More. But it's just not working. Even though they're demanding more of him. What the fuck? Worst gimmick ever in WWE history. Totally discounting the gobbledygooker, Bastion Booger, Dr. Isaac Yankem, DMD, DDS, whatever his doctorate was. I'm thinking of Britt Baker. Speaking of Britt Baker, where is she? Why wouldn't you put her on television and run an angle? Doesn't get along with Monet. I guess Camille didn't get along with Monet either. Or Thunder Rosa. Or Hikaru Shida. Or Nyla Rose. I guess Monet said, no, I'm not body slamming Nyla Rose. I'm not reaching up in there to body slam Nyla Rose. You don't want to do that. All the bad gimmicks that WWE has had, even for that matter, what about the juicer in WCW? Norman the Lunatic, Trucker Norm, who was also Bastion Booger. There's a recurring theme with this guy. All these shitty gimmicks. What about Dirty White Boy being a plumber in WWF? What about giving the Road Warriors and Paul Ellering a ventriloquist dummy when they were the Legion of Doom? A ventriloquist dummy as a mascot in WWF. Everyone tries to gloss over that bullshit. Horrible gimmicks that he saddled some of these people with. And this is the worst. This is the worst. You got a guy with the head of a goat wrestling in AEW. You got Darby Allin realistically beating up 250, 300-pound men in AEW. Even Akira Tozawa doesn't get a win in WWE because he's so little. And the worst gimmick out there right now is El Grande Americano. What's all this stuff about Timothy, what's his name? Timothy Busfield? Another child enthusiast busted in Hollywood. Actually, he had to go to Albuquerque, New Mexico to get him. The third husband of Melissa Gilbert, who recently had to scrub her Twitter account and her Instagram account of all pictures of children, commenting on how beautiful they were, how gorgeous they were. That's all been scrubbed since they put a warrant out for her husband. Basically, Timothy Busfield is famous for playing Poindexter in Revenge of the Nerds, in that trilogy of movies back in the early 80s. Revenge of the Nerds, Poindexter, red hair, big black horn rims. You've seen him before. Busfield was he was the director of a show called The Cleaning Lady on the Fox network a few years back. I think it ran for 3 years on Fox, starring Elodie Young, who played Elektra on the Daredevil series on Netflix, not on Disney Plus. The good one on Netflix. She was his love interest, martial arts enthusiast, Elektra. Anyway, Elodie Young was the star of this show, and one of the regulars on the show, there was two boys. They were twins. They were 7 years old at the time. They're now both 11. And I guess there was only one child featured on the show, but because they were twins, it's the Ashley and Mary-Kate Olsen rule. They can only work a certain amount of hours on the set because they're kids, and they have to get their schooling in and all that other good stuff. So one child will be swapped out for the other child. That's what happens with them. In fact, producers seek out twins exactly for this problem, for this thing. But I guess with AI now, they can just combat all that. Just put one another kid's face. If they can't find an exact match. Anyway, I'm spiraling out of control with this. Let me just get right down to the nitty gritty. He told these kids to refer to him as Uncle Tim on the set. Uncle Tim. And he got caught tickling them inappropriately in inappropriate places. They've even fessed up to this to investigators, hence why they were looking at him and busting him on child enthusiast charges. You really can't say what it is here on YouTube. because they'll give your channel a strike or tell you to take your video down. He's in jail. He's probably bonded out by now. He says he's totally innocent of all these charges and everything's going to be fine. Turns out these allegations have been haunting him for years on various film sets. Who knew Hollywood was full of freaks? Who knew? Who suspected that? Here is a blind item from the moderator and creator of the crazydaysandnights.com website, which puts all these different blind items about celebrities, and later on he comes on 2 weeks later and reveals who they're about. I'm going to read you this blind item from May 22nd, 2012. It's on the NT Lawyer, who is behind Crazy Days and Nights, that website. He's the guy. He's an entertainment lawyer in the industry, so he knows a lot about this. He's very, very well connected. And this is going back to a TV show from the 80s, 90s, I believe. It was the 90s. It was one of those CW TV shows. I'm going to just read you this little nugget of info and see if you can guess who it is. This actress is A-list now. I hate to say it, but she is. Not for movies, but for television. If you're the lead for your own show, you get to be A-list. And she's done it twice already. One was a very big hit back in the day, though, when she was still a teenager, but very developed for her age. She was on a show. The show didn't last long at all. And it probably was a very good thing because this once A-list TV movie actor who has been in the news recently for some sex issues was also on the show. Apparently, our actress never noticed what was going on, but other members of the crew did and would not let the actor anywhere near the actress. They caught him always looking at her and making comments about her, and they were really, really scared he would try something if he managed to get her alone. The actor would try to do anything he could just to get alone time with the actress, but the word was out. Keep him away from her at all costs, basically. The problem was the show did not film locally in Los Angeles, so someone always had to be on duty with her, make sure he didn't get access to her at the hotel room, or call her and convince her to go out to a bar or go out to dinner. It was a 24-hour-a-day operation. He never got the chance, and you've never seen a happier crew when the show was canceled. Can you guess, without reading my tweet here, covered at the bottom here, I wish I could cover that up. Can you guess who this was, this woman? Jennifer Love Hewitt, the Ghost Whisperer, back when she was a teenager. Very buxom woman, very good-looking girl. And the man involved was Timothy Busfield. He was probably a young man, too, probably in his mid-20s, late 20s at the time when all this went down. Busfield. He's 68 now. Just, folks, Hollywood's full of them. These are just the people that get sloppy and you find out about it. People who think they're invincible. Oh! The great Ric Flair has recently been in the news lately. Not for good things. This, I guess, if you're Ric Flair or Mike Tyson, this wouldn't be a good thing. Personally, I don't give a shit, but I'll tell you about it anyway. He posted, "Thank you, Mike Tyson, my very good friend, for informing the world about the true nature of these individuals." Essentially, what happened was the big endorsement deal that Flair and Tyson had, separate endorsement deals, I might say, with the hemp company Legends, developing their own strain of marijuana and THC-infused vapes, gummies, tinctures, things like that, things of that nature. They didn't pay the guys. So there are RICO charges being brought up by the feds against this company. And Mike Tyson's lawyers have gone after them. The feds have gone after him. Everybody's suing everybody. Rick should be used to that, though. If you're holding your breath waiting for that Marshmallow Ali Blade movie that was supposed to come out 4 years ago, don't hold your breath. The Blade movie Solo has been canceled. Originally, they were going to have Blade die off in that movie, and his daughter was going to become Blade, the next Blade, Vampire Slayer. Now the character is going to be folded into, if this ever happens, a Marvel movie called Midnight Suns. And here's the lineup right here. Let me see if I can embiggen this. The lineup of the Midnight Suns is Moon Knight, Blade, Doctor Strange, The Punisher, Damien Hellstrom, son of Satan, and generic white kid in a hoodie. Right there between the Punisher and Doctor Strange. Can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see how they'll interject a lot of women to save these guys and gay it up a lot. The minds behind the movie Avengers Doomsday have spoken out about the 4 teasers that they've released online and the teaser trailers that they're running in front of Avatar 3, a big Disney movie that's out in the theaters right now. The Russo brothers have stated what you've been watching for the last 4 weeks are not teasers or trailers. They're stories. They are clues. Pay attention. Keep your eyes and ears open. Essentially, Avengers Doomsday is going to be a Doctor Doom variant who looks like Tony Stark. He very, very well could be an ancestor of Tony Stark. Who knows? From a parallel universe. Apparently, when Steve Rogers went back in time to stay with Peggy Carter and live his life and be the old man who gave Sam Wilson the shield at the end of Avengers Endgame in the park. Apparently, he screwed up the entire space-time continuum, and all the various Earths are all starting to merge together and crash into one another and destroy each other. And Dr. Doom is hip to this. He's put together a team of people to plan how he's going to save his world. And that would bring you into Avengers Doomsday, where he makes the rounds, all these different universes, bring them all into play. The X-Men will team up with the Avengers. The Fantastic Four will team up with the Avengers and the X-Men in one big blended conglomeration to try to take on Doctor Doom. I heard they're filming 2 movies at once, Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Battle World, all at the same time. And they released the Captain America teaser trailer, which was him just pulling up on his motorcycle outside of his house, probably in the 1940s, where he goes to comfort his newborn son, Steve Jr., in his bed, in his bassinet, and he's got the burp rag out on his shoulder, getting ready to burp him. And supposedly, it doesn't end like this, that was released, but supposedly in the movie, Dr. Doom makes an appearance and wants the child, just like he made an appearance at the end of Fantastic Four First Steps and wanted to take Franklin Richards. I think he actually did. So he's after the children. That's the recurring theme here of the X-Men. I mean, of the heroes, the Marvel heroes. He's after the children. Probably children of the X-Men, if there are any. I don't know. It's a whole school for gifted children, so he's liable to drag one of them out of there. Maybe Jean Grey. Who the hell knows? But the Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen chess scene and the X-Men teaser, I was very, very vested in. I enjoyed that. James Marsden from the original movies made an appearance in a comic-accurate Cyclops costume, ripped his visor off, shot a beam of optic heat, lasers out of his eyes up into the sky. Supposedly, the Sentinels in the beginning of Avengers Doomsday attack Xavier's school. Magneto's there to defend with the students, and Doctor Doom is leading the charge against the X-Men. He has his own Sentinels. I don't know. I'm just going by what they're saying here. But I will say they've got some problems because, according to Collider, a pop culture site that follows all this, Avengers Doomsday teaser views decline with each new release. By the time we got to Shuri and M'Baku walking the Wakandan plains, the Wakanda desert, to meet Ben Grimm and have a little handshake, which we all want to see T'Challa, the Black Panther. Folks, they're going to do a course correction here of the MCU. Thor is going to get killed off, supposedly, in this movie. That's the rumor that's going around. There's going to be a new Thor. There's going to be a new Captain America. And there's going to be a new Iron Man. There's going to be a new Black Widow. And I'm not going to say that they're not going to be variants of Tony Stark, Natasha Romanoff, Steve Rogers. More than ever, they're looking to be time variants. Why wouldn't they have recast the Black Panther? Why wouldn't they just recast T'Challa instead of making his sister, which was a failed idea in the comics, the new Black Panther? Why would how many Batmen have we had over the last 40 years? How many Supermen have we had since the 70s on TV and in the movies? Okay? How many James Bonds have we had? Good Lord. A plethora. I said it right that time. A plethora of James Bonds. Just recast the Black Panther. I'm sure that they were using the sympathy of Chadwick Boseman's death to get eyes on the new movie, but they should have recast the movie. They've got continuity problems in the MCU. They've adapted too many bad ideas from the comics that didn't sell. Didn't sell. The Falcon as Captain America didn't sell. Ms. Marvel didn't sell. Sorry about that. She-Hulk actually sold, but it was a horrible TV show. They wouldn't make it into a situation comedy. And it was crap with a capital C. Much like this podcast. Ah! And last, I'll leave you with the great Booker T, who pulls no punches on his Hall of Fame podcast. Booker refers to AEW as a retirement spot if a wrestler is looking to wrap up their career. And here you go. I wish they had AEW around when I was doing this thing. I'd have camped out. I'd just camped out, man. Made me a little tent. I wouldn't have been going nowhere, man, because I'm serious. They pay you not to work in AEW. Ric Flair's still under contract from what I've been hearing. What has he done? What has Ric Flair done for AEW? It's a safe haven. It's definitely a retirement spot if you're looking to wrap this thing up the right way. I get it, man. I get it seriously. From the great Booker T. He knows a money mark when he sees one. And one last thing I forgot to add. Someone DM me saying, Sol Ruca, because I said it on the show, Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast, starring Don Wayne and Johnny Bottles every Thursday at 7 p.m. on the YouTube. I'll throw that plug in there right now. For our other show, our sister show. This is only a pilot for a show, so it's probably going to be canceled after I turn on this microphone. But at any rate, people have said, Sol Ruca's not African-American. How could she be African-American? Well, folks, those are her parents right there. Those are her parents. Calix Harmony Hampton is her name. And Mr. Hampton over here on the right used to be the keyboard player for Fishbone from 2016 to, I believe, 2019. He was a producer, collaborator with Fishbone. He had his own band before that called the Skeletones. The Skeletones. Look them up. But yeah, he's an accomplished musician. And like I said, producer and keyboardist. And those are her parents. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just pointing out, the truth. People can't believe it, but there she is. Beautiful family, I might add. Beautiful family. And that's all I got today.
I like people the way I like my tea.